You are in a supervision session and the learner pushes everything off the table where he is sitting and he flops to the ground. You're sitting there wondering, what do I do now? Do I tell the RBT to keep going? Do I insist on compliance? Or do I step back and ask myself, why is this happening? Now, here's the harder question. At the end of those days, do you feel confident that your response was truly helping the learner? Or is there that nagging voice asking you if there's a better, more compassionate way to handle it? You're not alone in that struggle. And the good news is there is a better way, a way that prioritizes the learner's dignity while still getting meaningful outcomes. And that's called Assent. Assent is about giving learners a voice in their own ABA services. It's not just about compliance or getting the job done. It's about asking, are they willing participants in this process? Now, it's unlike consent, which a parent or caregiver provides. Assent is what the learner communicates to us through their words, their gestures, or even their behavior. When a learner withdraws assent, it's not an obstacle to overcome, it's information. It's their way of telling us something's not quite right. And when we respect that, we're building trust and showing them their voice matters. Respecting assent changes everything for you and the learner. Here's why it matters. When learners feel heard, they trust you. And trust is the foundation of every successful intervention. Engaged learners learn faster, generalize more easily, and ABA services become truly meaningful, not just a checklist of skills that they've learned. As BCBAs, our ethics code emphasizes dignity and respect. Honoring assent isn't just compassionate, it's our ethical duty. When we respect assent, we're teaching learners that their voice matters, a skill that lasts far beyond ABA services. When we make space for assent, we're not just meeting goals, we're empowering learners for life. For years, ABA focused heavily on compliance, reducing behaviors, following through no matter what. And sure, those methods can work, but at what cost? The autistic community has been very clear on this. Compliance-based approaches often feel coercive and dismissive. They want practices that respect their autonomy and honor neurodiversity. And that's where assent-based practices come in. Shifting to an assent-based approach doesn't mean we're giving up on goals. It means achieving them in a way that values dignity, collaboration, and respect. So how do you make assent part of your everyday practice? Here are 4 simple steps to get started. First, pay attention to how learners communicate assent or withdrawal through words, gestures, or even subtle behaviors. If a learner says no with their voice or their actions, pause, reflect, and adjust your approach. Include choice making into every session, whether it's choosing tasks, reinforcers, or breaks. Teach learners to express their needs through functional communication. Celebrate when they advocate for themselves. These small shifts can have a huge impact on both your learners and your practice. Early in my career, I worked with a learner named Oliver. One day I spent, that wasn't his actual name, but one day I spent over an hour prompting him to say goodbye. He crawled under the table, frustrated, and I just kept pushing. Eventually he complied, but at what cost? If I could go back and do things differently, I'd offer choices, honor his cues, and prioritize our rapport. And you know what? Today, that's exactly what I do. And the results are incredible. When we prioritize assent, everyone wins. If you're ready to bring compassionate assent practices into your sessions, check out our CEU course, Voice and Choice, Assent in Action in ABA Services. You'll learn how to make these strategies a natural part of your practice. Assent isn't just a strategy, it's a commitment to compassionate, client-centered care. Let's build a better future for our learners together.